Welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right. Well, here we go. Getting onwards to the FarLands for another Minecraft 3 days. All right. Let's close this up. All right. And my direction to travel is this way. To the west. Onwards. Heading to the FarLands Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 because that's the latest version of Minecraft that the FarLands actually exist in. Okay, and I need some wool and some logs. So let's get this out here and see about something or other like that. All right, now, moving onwards here. Yes, in my last vlog video, I talked about, what was the word I used? Yes, regularizing. To regularize something would be to make it more regular. And I was, of course, talking about regularizing the Journey to the FarLands, because it has thus far, for quite a long time, it has been entirely too irregular. Yes. And we don't want irregularities. You know, it's like the laxative commercials are always talking about. It's good to be regular. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, sorry, I couldn't resist that one. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so I'm working on trying to become more regular with this thing. And, of course, after saying that, I'm like, what, 3-4 days since that video was uploaded, and I was going to have this up there that very next day. And, well, you can see how that failed. What's going on? You guys usually spawn 4 at a time. No, actually, I know they always spawn 4 at a time. Where's the other 3? Oh, well. Oh, well, wait a minute. They're over here. Okay, that's kind of on the way. I needed some wool, so here we go. All right, you. Okay, moving onwards. Heading westward, yes. Okay, so, not going to beat myself up over failing to get the regularization going as soon as I wanted to. Just going to try to go from here. All right, now, one of the things that I do for those who are not familiar with it is that as I walk westward in Minecraft, headed towards the FarLands, which is approximately 12.5 million blocks from spawn. Yeah. On my way, I talk, and I talk, and I yammer, and I just ramble, and I rant and rave and talk about all sorts of things, and I also attempt to answer questions submitted by viewers. You know, got a question? Leave a comment with your question in it. I'll add it to my list and get to it. You know, I put new questions on the bottom of the list and I answer them from the top down. And if I'm making regular episodes in a reasonably regularized fashion, then I would actually get to them in a reasonably regular time. It's all about being regular. Yes. So, an anonymous individual asks, if you could have a personalized license plate, what would it say? Well, one idea would be just to be totally egocentric and have a license plate that says TFC 1 or something like that. And on the other hand, and I've actually checked this one, by the way, it's not possible because some other lucky sot has it. Well, some lucky sot. I'm not a lucky sot, or if I was, I'd have it. And anyway, a custom license plate that I would like to have would be something that would go good on a black sports car kind of thing. Like, for example, a black 1982 Trans Am would be awesome. And the license plate would simply be a name. A name that has struck fear into the hearts of many. A name representative that is a voice of power. A voice of force. The name Vader. Yeah, that would be cool. You're driving down the road and somebody's going to pass you or get all road ragey and they look at your license plate and it says Vader. You think maybe they might have second thoughts about getting nasty? I don't know. It would be fun to find out. Seriously, it would. It'd probably get a lot of attention too, especially if you went to like science fiction conventions of various kinds or comic book conventions and so on. You know, because somebody's going to look at your car and say, oh man, that guy's cool. He's got a license plate that says Vader. That would be fun. It would. That would be kind of a cool custom license plate to have. But at least in the state of Arkansas where I live, that name is not available. That license plate is not available. Which means, of course, that somebody else has it. They got to it first. Well, I'm not surprised. Anyway, okay, what else do we have here? Okay, Potato.exe asks, and let me get this straight here. What are your views on your fan base in the comment section? And have you ever played Dark Souls? If so, what did you think of it? Okay, answering the second one first, no, I've never played Dark Souls. And other than the fact that it is basically some form of an adventure game, I know absolutely nothing about it. I have never watched any of the gameplay in that game. I've heard people talk about it and mention it occasionally over the years, but I don't know anything about Dark Souls. 1, 2, 6, 79, 83, or what. I have no clue about them. And so, therefore, I don't have any idea or opinion about it at all. And anticipating a possible question, would I be willing to check it out and play it? Probably not, just simply on the grounds that I've got enough going on right now. I really don't need to get involved in something else. Especially if it turns out to be like an MMO or something. Ugh. So, okay. The first question. What are my views on my fan base and the comment section? Well, let's see. Just a second. All right, pop this down here. Throw it on a bed. And there we go. All right, and onwards. Okay, what are my views on the fan base? Well, I've said this before on multiple occasions, but I will say it again, that I may not have well, I obviously don't have the most subscribers on YouTube, but I do sincerely believe that I have some of the best subscribers on YouTube. How about that? How's that for sucking up to the audience? Well, actually, it's not sucking up if it's true. And it is true. And as far as the comment section, I don't know. Most comments are good. They're helpful, well-meaning, and so on. There is an occasional troll that comes in there occasionally and tries to say nasty stuff or start stuff and whatnot, and most of the time, before such people even manage to get any kind of an argument started, there's a bunch of these best YouTuber subscribers ever out there in the comment section giving the individual troll, whatever they are, a serious case of what for trying to get all negative on the comments of my videos. So that's cool, and they don't get nasty doing it either, you know, just like, what are you saying that for? You know, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, good subscribers, great, best, and so on, and also a very good comment section. I hardly ever see anything that even remotely resembles like a flame war like I've seen in the comments of some other people's videos. Really. So, great people who have opted most wisely to subscribe to me. And I am very appreciative of that wisdom. How about that? Okay, come on. Catch the boat. Get in the boat. Oh. Okay, next up, from Cheeseburger Fans. Do you do anything while you branch mine, such as listen to a podcast or watch YouTube videos? Very occasionally, I might have YouTube videos running in the background. Well, especially if they're the kind of videos that I don't actually need to watch as much as listen to. I might queue up a few of those and watch some of that, or have some of that running while I'm branch mining, because you can't actually watch anything while branch mining because you really do have to pay attention to what you're doing. I might do that occasionally, and very, very rarely I might start some music playing or something like that. But most of the time, I don't really do either. You know, it's like there's plenty of music around that I like, but most of the time, even the music that I like is something that I very much do not want to hear. You know, it's, yeah, and I know it's unusual because most people, the music they do not want to hear is the stuff they don't like. You know, it's like if you're a hardcore country western fan, you really don't want to hear death metal or something like that. You know, and it works the other way around too, I'm sure. For most people who are fans of either genre, they don't want to hear the other. Okay, let's get some coal. Somebody mentioned that the last time I mentioned something about needing to get coal, I walked right past some, so let's try not to repeat that error. And I'm glad I thought of it, or spotted this, and thought to pick it up because 14 torches, that's all I have. And I didn't have any coal for making more. Alright, moving onwards. So, even the music that I really like is something that I very seldom actually listen to. Most of the time, with me and music, most of the time it's a case of I don't care how good it is or how much I like it even, I don't want to hear it. And I know that confuses some people because, you know, they're thinking, well, if you like it, why don't you want to listen to it? Because I don't. I have to be in just the right kind of mood to even be remotely interested in putting on some music. And I am not one of these people that, I am not like a lot of people, probably most people, that are perfectly interested and willing to have music playing in the background while they do whatever. I'm not one of these people. It just, and it's not even that it's distracting, well, unless it's something that I actually hate. But most of the time, it's not even distracting. It's just, I'm not interested. And so I become somebody that a lot of people don't really get, because most people seem to think that having some music playing while you're doing whatever is a good thing. And for them, it probably is. For me, not so much. You know, I like a lot of classic rock and stuff from the 1970s, but I hardly ever listen to it. Some of my all-time favorites would be like Boston, More Than a Feeling, the Eagles, Hotel California, Stairway to Heaven, you know, a lot of stuff like that, and a whole lot more besides, actually. But it's very rare that I listen to any of it. Very rare. So most of the time when I'm branch mining, it's just watch the mine, focus on that, and ignore listening to anything. Cheeseburger Fan also asks, why don't you wear glasses anymore? Actually, I do wear glasses. It's just that I'm kind of really nearsighted. And so, really, if I am at home, especially sitting in front of the computer, which is where I spend like 95% of my day on any given day, well, 95% of my waking hours, how about that? I don't bother wearing them in the house. Now, I am sufficiently nearsighted that I do definitely need the corrective lenses when driving. So if I have to go out, go to the store or whatever, that's when I'll put the glasses on and wear them. But if I'm sitting in the house, sitting at the computer, recording vlog videos or whatever, I don't bother even putting them on. There's no point. Because I don't really need them up close like that. Technically, I'm supposed to wear them all the time, but wearing glasses is less and less comfortable, we'll put it that way. And since contact lenses are not in my budgetary reach, then that's going to be that. Let's see. I Am Not Groot asks, can you play Fallout 76? Well, there's two answers to that, or maybe you could call it a two-part answer. The first part being is yes, I most likely can play Fallout 76. The second part of that question is, would I actually choose to do so? And the answer there would be in the negative. And it would be, I would not play Fallout 2, Fallout 76. There would be two basic reasons that I wouldn't do it. Number one, it is an MMO. That, if I'm not mistaken, is like a subscription thing. And MMOs, by definition, are money sinks and time sinks, and no. Not only no, but way seriously no. And the other reason that I would not play Fallout 76 is that since it has been released, I have seen a lot of people talking about it, and most of them have had many, many, many negative things to say about it. And so I'm not interested. You know, I'm not going to pay a AAA game price to buy something that then has to have a subscription. Or, of course, I don't know if it's got a big price to get it in the first place, but, you know, I'm not going to pay to play something like that. I'm just... And besides which, it's online only by its very nature. And my internet is such that it can get totally hosed pretty easily and pretty frequently. Like, for example, today, it has been raining most of the day, most of last night, and it is going to be raining pretty much all of tonight. At least that's what the forecast is calling. So, and the reason the weather makes a difference is because I can't speak for anywhere else, but here in Northeast Arkansas, when it rains, internet service, telephone service, power service, and so on, they suffer. And there are failures. There's been at least 2 power failures just today. I double-clicked. I didn't mean to, but I double-clicked. There's been at least 2 power failures today already, and the day's not even over yet, so yeah, no. I limit my online game activities mostly to Hermitcraft. You know, like Fallout 4 and a number of other things that I don't necessarily have to be online to play. When I'm playing a whole lot of games, which that comes and goes with mood and how I feel at the time and so on. Oh, excuse me. Okay, and okay, next up, Ghost of the Mind asks, do you have any kids? And the answer there is no. To the best of my knowledge, I don't have any kids. No one has ever come up to me or contacted me or whatever and said, hey, so-and-so is your kid. And, it very, very, very unlikely that could ever happen. It really is. So, no, I don't have any kids, nor are there any possibilities. At least I'm pretty sure there isn't any possibilities. So, yeah. It's not like I've been one of these guys that, a different girl everywhere he goes. Nope, I have never been that way. Because, believe it or not, I've never been all that successful with the ladies. As much as I wanted to be successful, I've never been very successful at all. So, yeah, that issue is not something that I have to be concerned about. Well, let's see. Just a second. I need to tab out for a second and scroll my list of questions. Okay. Next up. Bill Bobbingworth, I think it says here. If you could, would you ever buy AirPods? Well, first I would have to Google what AirPods are and then decide if that's anything I would want. And frankly, I'll be totally honest with you, I don't even know what AirPods are. So I can't answer that question, actually. That's terrible, I know. Let's see. What's been the best and worst job you've ever had? Also, what kind of music do I enjoy? Okay, the music thing I've sort of kind of addressed already. My musical tastes are very much what they call eclectic. I like a little bit of a lot of different things. It's like, generally speaking, for example, I am not a huge fan of country western, but there is some that I do like. Please don't ask me to name any of it because I'm terrible with naming things like that. Well, I've always been terrible with names, so in general, human or otherwise, and so I know what I like, and I know it when I hear it, but I don't necessarily know the title of it or who did it. It's like that. So even some country western, which for the most part I despise, the ground it walks on, and the air it breathes, but there are some pieces that I like. Oh, excuse me. And a lot of 1970s classic rock and other stuff from the 1970s. There's bits and pieces out of the 1980s, 1990s, and every decade since then. There are bits and pieces that I like, most of which I have the distinct and extreme disadvantage of I don't know the title of it, nor do I know who did it. And not only that, while I do like the piece in question, I don't like it bad, and I don't like it enough to actually bother finding out what the title is and who did it. So it's like I like music, but I really don't put a whole lot of effort into it. It's not a heart and soul for me. It really isn't. It's a thing that can occasionally be nice. More often than not, it's very annoying because I'm not in the right mood to want to hear it. And when I'm not in the mood to want to hear it, I absolutely do not want to hear it. Which most of the time I don't have to deal with. It's an advantage of living in a small town in northeast Arkansas, especially when you're talking about a retirement community, which is basically what this place is where I live. There are more retired and over 50 people here than there is pretty much almost anything else. There are people here with kids, young people with kids and whatnot, but they are not, by any stretch of the imagination, a majority. Oh, beautiful. All right. Okay, I'm coming up on the third Minecraft day. I need to be looking for a hidey hole. Yes. Come on. Oh. Oh, it's getting dark already. All right. Dig in right here. Come on. Okay, get this dug out. Pop this down here. Fill that in. Leave that because why not? All right. Pop down the bed. Ooh, I've just killed a pickaxe. How about that? All right. All right, so number one, let's make a new pickaxe. First one I've made in a pretty fair amount of time. All right. Get me a couple of more boats. All right, some beds. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. And hopefully I'll actually have enough on the ball to get a new episode out reasonably soonish in my efforts at regularizing. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.